강재병! 고마워. 나랑 같이 해줘서.
Joo-ryeong begins to smile before tensing her mouth. She tries to smile in an attempt to be friendly, but the mouth tense is her trying to suppress the effects caused by high levels of stress. When we experience stress from a predator or simply emotional thoughts, our muscles begin to tremble. She presses her lips together to hold in that tremble, showing that she's incredibly sad but is still trying to hide it. She then exhales strongly, which is a pacifying behavior. Basically the way our brain releases the buildup of stress. We do this to calm ourselves down and indicates high levels of stress. Kang Se-byuk does what's called a distancing behavior here. She looks to the floor with her head. She's trying not to look at the thing causing her stress, which is the game. We do these behaviors as a way to protect ourselves. If we, for example, see something suspicious or potentially dangerous, we keep our bodies as far away as possible to avoid the danger. Looking away is the same thing. She just can't run as she has to play the game.
너 뭐 하는 거야? 내가 졌네. 너 뭐 하는 짓이냐고.
Sorry to interrupt, but if you are enjoying this video, please consider hitting that subscribe button as it helps the channel out massively. Thanks. Joo-ryeong does rapid eye movement. She's diverting her eyes to the stressor, which is the game, and then back up forward. When she's looking up or forward, she's most likely debating her options in her head, and then diverts her eyes down to take in more information about the situation. The rapid eye movement shows that she's having second thoughts about playing the game, and this is when she actually decides not to continue playing and to just drop the marble. It's super awesome that she can convey the thought process by simply moving her eyes. When she drops the marble, Kang Se-byuk maintains strong eye contact with her and changes her proxemics to get closer and then makes physical contact. Her voice trembles, showing that she's going through significant trauma. Voice trembling is caused when the muscles in our throat begin to respond to the increased levels of stress and then tense up.
구슬을 그냥 놓쳤어.
이거냐? 무조건 이기게 해준다는 게? 너 이런다고 내가 고마워할 줄 알지? 다시 던져.
나 다시 던져도 너 못 이겨.
Kang Se-byuk now has her mouth open. This is, I think, her going into the shock response. Basically, when we encounter a stressor or something that has the potential to cause stress, our sympathetic nervous system makes us take in more oxygen, which is why she has her mouth open. It also causes us to shake, and shaking makes us more difficult to grab. Basically, her body is going into the maximum power mode to help her deal with whatever may come of the situation. The physical contact she's making is a very weak attempt at intimidation. Basically, changing proxemics and getting closer to someone is very confrontational, especially when physical contact's made. She's trying to intimidate her into carrying on the game.
참 좀 멋있게 좀 치게 해줘라. 혼자 개뽕 잡지 말고 다시 던지라고! 난 없어.
뭐?
너는 여기서 나갈 이유가 있지만 난 없어.
When Joo-ryeong refuses to throw, Kang Se-byuk raises her voice. Again, another act of intimidation. She's being super confrontational to scare her into doing what she says. It doesn't work. Joo-ryeong isn't afraid of her and doesn't care about surviving. Well, she does. Her voice is trembling like crazy. She doesn't want to die, but she has reason that she should sacrifice herself. She then tenses her mouth between speaking, which is her conscious responding to the shaking caused by the adrenaline and increased heart rate. Kang Se-byuk's mouth is trembling here. She's going through high levels of emotion and stress, which causes her head to shake rapidly. Sadness and emotional pain cause the same stress to our bodies as fear, and the response is identical. Her body is preparing to survive.
그래서 나가면 뭐랄까. 너가 물어본 다음부터 계속 생각을 해봤거든. 아무리 생각해도 생각이 안 나. 이유가 있는 사람이 나가는 게 맞잖아. 그게 맞잖아.
Joo-ryeong does a small smile here. This emotion isn't genuine, she's forcing it to be friendly. She's deeply saddened, and that's why it lasts for such a short amount of time, and she doesn't do it fully. This is the perfect example of the brain trying to give off body language contrary to what it's feeling. It's never convincing and doesn't work. It's how we read if someone's lying to us. Their conscious can never be as convincing as real emotions, regardless of their acting talent.
너는 꼭 살아서 나가. 그래서 엄마도 만나고 동생도 찾고 제주도에도 꼭 가.
Again, her conscious tries to smile, which is instantly suppressed by her real emotions. She's trying to be reassuring and nice to her friend, but she can't help but show her real feelings. She also tenses her mouth again. It's really sad to see how desperately she's trying to hide her real emotions from her friend, as to not make her feel bad for taking her place.
강세병!
고마워. 나랑 같이 해줘서.
The guard turns their head slightly. This is to help improve with sound localization. When one ear is pointing towards someone and the other is pointing away, it helps us pinpoint location more accurately. Typically, we do this by tilting the head to the side when looking at someone, but this guard doesn't want to turn around fully. Joo-ryeong is desperately trying to hide her feelings and suppresses the shaking caused by the fear and pain she's going through. It's amazing how many non-verbal cues she's giving off in such a short period of time. She tries to smile, but she can't hold it even for a split second, and then tenses her mouth instead. She's also doing rapid eye movement and head movement, which are all telltale signs of stress. Kang Se-byuk then tenses her face after a friend gets shot, and you can see her lip quiver. She then tenses her mouth incredibly strongly, again trying desperately to hide her emotions. I don't want to make any bold statements, but from what I've seen, she seems very used to trauma. You can tell this from the total lack of body language given off compared to Joo-ryeong, and by how well she's learned to hide her high levels of stress. She is so good at keeping her composure, which is why I think she comes across as cold. This is a learned skill, as she's been through so much trauma. Basically, she's compensating for the trauma and stress that she expects to encounter. Overall, this is a very well acted and beautiful scene, which is filled with lots of subtle but meaningful non-verbal cues. Both characters demonstrate their feelings perfectly with their body language, especially Kang Se-byuk, who demonstrates to me that she has seen and dealt with trauma before. It's really well acted. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.